Good evening and welcome to Nationwide. Today, I'm Elizabeth Omori. President Bola Tinubu has continued to receive commendations for his policy decisions on the country's economy so far. An economist and revered entrepreneur in the banking sector, Tony Eluminu, who visited President Tinubu at the State House, acknowledges that the Nigerian leader has taken good decisions in the interest of the country. He implores Nigerians to be patient with the president to see the benefits yet to come out of the decisions.
The private sector is encouraged with the bold decisions President Bola Tinubu has taken, and we hope that in the fullness of time, Nigerians will benefit from it, because it's all about Nigerian people. It's all about youth. It's all about making sure our women are involved and empowered. It's all about making sure our youth get jobs. And I think Mr. President has this at the back of his mind. And I believe, as a private sector person, that the actions and decisions the President is taking now, in the long run, will help our people. But a bit of patience, you know. Rome was not built in a day, one day like.
Okay, thank you very much.
And more palliatives will soon be made available to cushion the effects of the current economic realities. Minister of Information and Culture, Orientation Mohammed Idris Balage, while playing host to the Niger State Governor Mohammed Umar Bago, reassured Nigerians that the 8-point agenda carefully selected for immediate interventions.
The two Nigerians are saddled with critical assignments. The host as the custodian and driver of the renewed hope agenda, while the visitor is the helmsman of the power state. The visit provided an opportunity for them to roll out plans on how to fast-track the implementation of the already identified 8 priority areas.
Assorted grains have been sent to states, and we know that each state of Nigeria has received the sum of 5 billion naira in the first instance. And the FCT also got about 2 billion in the first instance. Now, Mr. President is aware that that is not enough, but is only the first necessary step that he has to take to ensure that this hardship occasioned by the fuel subsidy removal will be cushioned. Your Excellency, Mr. President has asked us to tell Nigerians that more are coming in their way. He's working day and night tirelessly together with his Council of Advisory Bodies, the ministers, to ensure that every hardship that Nigerians are facing today will be turned around within the shortest possible time.
We have a lot of potentials for agriculture, and we can feed the world. So one of the key cardinal points of Mr. President's agenda is food security and social security. These two things are very, very available in Niger State.
The Minister of Information and National Orientation promised a leading role to make sure that Nigerians understand the vision and mission of the government. In Abuja, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
Now to technology matters. Nigeria is one of the leading nations providing capital for startups. The present administration is setting up funding to provide capital for innovators to start technology companies that will create homegrown solutions deployable for enhanced productivity for the country's prosperity. Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, gave assurances at an engagement with more players in the tech industry is prioritizing training of technical talents and connecting Nigerian tech diasporans for knowledge transfer to actualize President Bola Tinubu's mandate of Nigeria having 1 million technical talents in the shortest possible time.
We've got access to about $500 million to start a local fund in Nigeria. And part of my responsibility is working with BOI to ensure that we actually domicile that funding locally in Nigeria, work with funds who manage and invest in businesses to ensure that those businesses that will benefit are true, real Nigerian businesses. We'll be looking to also speak to the telecoms and communications company to drive up investment in broadband, ensuring that our telecommunication hacks, for instance, is up to date.
Of policies that would not stifle technology companies but will open up the economy for exportable homegrown innovations. The minister intends to ensure that the hubs built by the previous administration are adequately utilized by the right people, as development partners are already pledging support.
There'll be lots more time for us to support you and work with you. And I hope we can do this as a true private and public partnership.
To infrastructure development, Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, has pledged to mobilize contractors handling key projects in the territory back to sites. The minister made the pledge during a meeting with no fewer than 15 contractors in his office in Abuja. Onoze Yakubu has details.
In a bid to kickstart key projects across the territory, especially those in his administration's short-time plans, FCT Minister Nyesom Wike says contractors will soon be mobilized back to site.
We went out for inspection to see certain projects that were awarded before us and have been abandoned probably due to one reason or the other. We know we visited quite a number of geotechnical projects. We went to Salini and some other projects I may not be able to remember. Now time has come for action. Those of you who heard what Mr. President said yesterday, he did give a marching order that he wants to ride on the metro line. And so it's a key project that we must achieve.
Nyesom Wike assures the contractors that his administration will restructure the way projects are funded to avoid debt. This is with a view to giving the nation's capital city a facelift in the shortest possible time.
We're handling the issue of sanitation. We're handling the issue of street lights. We're also handling the issue of shanties and the rest of them. But the roads are very key. And so we're trying to see how we can map our strategies, structural funding, so that we don't have problems of completion.
Making reference to critical projects like the Abuja Light Rail project and the resurfacing of road infrastructure in Garki, Wuse, Maitama and Asokoro districts, the minister explained that since lack of supervision has been a bane to achieving infrastructure development, the administration will not compromise standards in project execution. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
Kano, as the most populous state in Nigeria and commercial hub of the north, has its unique challenges, amongst them a complex web of criminality. In its tenacity to mitigate the complexities of crimes, Kano State Police Command has been exploring both conventional and alternative non-kinetic approaches to ushering sustainable peace and order in the state. In this situation report, Elizabeth Yila reports on recent crime outlook of the state and successes being recorded by the police.
Chaotic, lawless and unsafe are some of the attributes that best describe the unruly state of affairs that occasionally characterize Kano State. With all manner of atrocities being committed, the streets of Kano have many a times appeared unsafe, especially at night, when even the dead are not left to rest in peace.
When I go to graveyards, I remove the signposts
and sell to Dangwangwa.
The menace of daylight and night mobile phone arm robbery, especially around the metropolis, drug peddling and thuggery, have become mind-boggling, making it difficult for residents to go about their businesses in peace. To change this narrative, Kano State Police Command understudied and mapped out the crime patterns and developed action plan around public accountability, community partnership, and intelligence-led policing system. This strategy helped in identifying black spots of hoodlums in the state, with more than 1,000 suspects arrested and investigated in the space of 4 months, with most of them currently awaiting trial for offenses. Items recovered during this period include 82 mobile phones, 1,117 sharp knives, about 50 cutlasses, and 117 ATM cards. Also adopted are visible policing, the use of technical intelligence in conducting investigations and operations, strengthening the police public relations unit with the encouragement of engaging in massive public enlightenment, sensitization, and synergy with military and other sister security agencies. In Kano, Elizabeth Yila, NTA News.
And my namesake Elizabeth is standing by the State Police Command in Bompai, Kano, to throw more light on this issue. Elizabeth, thank you so much for joining us on the news.
You're welcome.
All right, thank you so much. Now, could you just brief us on the crime rates in Kano State currently?
Okay, thank you, Elizabeth. Prior to this dispensation, the rate of crime in Kano State was on the high side, with so many cases of culpable homicide, armed robbery, kidnapping, banditry, as well as phone snatching. But with the current police in command, the changes have been drastic, because we can see that he has engaged a robust strategy that will help combat crime within the state. As is seen in the report that was currently just used, the rate of crime has actually reduced drastically in the state.
All right, so what measures did the police actually put in place to combat this, to put these crimes in check? All right, Lizzie, what measures did the police command put in place to put a check on these crimes? Lizzie, can you hear me loud and clear? We seem to have lost audio with Elizabeth, but we hope to join her again. Let's move on. Providing solutions to the perennial problem of building collapse and other engineering challenges in Nigeria require deliberate deployment of engineers in policymaking roles and other strategic positions, says the President, Nigeria Institute of Engineers, while briefing newsmen on some issues of infrastructural development. Ekene Undulwe reports.
Building collapse is one menace that has become a recurring problem in Nigeria, leaving in its trail loss of lives, injuries, and livelihoods. About 271 buildings are said to have collapsed in Nigeria in the past 10 years, a figure that has become worrisome for professionals in the building sector. 90% of the collapsed buildings belong to private individuals, says the President, Nigerian Society of Engineers, as he attributes the menace to individuals who engage non-professionals to cut costs of construction.
Who is going to do the design must be a certified person to do the design. The person to review must be a certified person. The person to supervise must be a certified person.
On mitigating effects of removal of fuel subsidy, the organization says it is working on plans to popularize transition to use of compressed natural gas, which is a cheaper and cleaner energy.
All divisions of the Nigerian Society of Engineers to tackle this challenge by developing practical solutions for effective conversion from PMS to CNG in a safer way. I'm expecting their proposed solution designs and possible practical demonstration on or before September 8th this year.
It was an opportunity to discuss other sundry engineering issues in the country, and these engineers are leaving no one in doubt of their relevance to nation building. In Abuja, Ekene Ndulwe, NTA News.
You're watching Nationwide on NTA. Let's take a break. More reports ahead when we return. To stay. Thanks for staying with us. The deplorable state of federal roads in Edo State has been a major concern to residents and motorists plying the highways. Following the renewed calls for the rehabilitation of the roads by residents of Edo State, Jude Abugu visited the Olobo axis of Benin Sapele Road to ascertain its present condition, especially this rainy season.
This is Benin Sapele Road, a major federal road that connects motorists from southwest and northern parts of the country with the south-south region. The 105.4 kilometer road that starts from Ring Road through Ohio Bypass and Ologbo border community in Edo State stretches through Sapele, Efron, Warri to other cities in the oil-rich Niger Delta region. Driving through the over 27 years road has become a nightmare to motorists, especially drivers of articulated vehicles who say they sometimes spend days on the failed portions of the Olobo axis.
Sometimes we will stay here like 2 days before we reach to Sapele or Warri.
The road has degenerated to something else, to the extent people spend more than 3 hours only in Olobo, and this is very, very unhealthy for road users.
Benin Sapele Road is just one of the federal roads in Edo State calling for urgent government attention. The Benin Auchi Road that leads to Abuja and other northern states is also in a sorry state. And recently, Benin Agbo Road Bypass, which is a major entry point to Benin City, the Edo State capital, joined the league.
The contractor is trying to get his advance payment so that he can mobilize to site. That is from Benue to kilometer 28. Now the Olobo was sectioned out to the contractor that is handling that of Delta State. The Agbo and the Ewu Sapele road and this Aoshi to Benue, they are having similar problem, and the problem has to do with the augmentation.
It is the expectations of the people of the state and motorists that these federal roads will be given priority attention now that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu-led administration has ministers in place. From Ologbo, Edo State, Jude Abugu, NTA News.
We now link up with Ogochukwuka Ona, who is at one of the roads earlier mentioned. Ogochukwuka, thank you so much for joining us. Ogochukwuka, thank you so much for joining us on the news. Ogochukwuka, thank you so much for joining us on the news. All right, we do apologize for that as well. We will not be able to join Ogochukwuka for now. But let's move to our studio in Kaduna, where Salamatu is standing by with some reports.
Mobility rate in Jigawa State through environmental sanitation, the Jigawa Governor Umar Namadi has inaugurated State Environmental Sanitation Committee to ensure that Jigawa mitigate diseases related to poor sanitation. Muhammad Musa Askira reports.
Nigerians are dying every year of avoidable diseases, particularly those related to poor environment.
We sincerely apologize for that glitch. We might be going back later, not to worry. Now, moving on, Minister of Defense Abubakar Badru says synergy between relevant stakeholders is required to actualize Nigeria's drive towards industrialization, energy security and climate change. This was in his lecture to Senior Executive Course 45 to mark the Defense Week at NIPS Kuru. Ali Sabatu Kai Andrew tells us more.
The Defense Week has industrialization, energy security and climate change in Nigeria, the role of the armed forces as its theme. Minister of Defense Badaru Abubakar, represented by his permanent secretary, while declaring it open, says some of the challenges confronting the nation are as a result of climate change, the rising crime rate, which has deepened poverty and induced forced migration. He, however, said Nigeria has become increasingly active towards achieving national security as the federal government pushes towards achieving energy and food security.
There's a need for military-industrial complex to be revitalized, because with that it will improve Nigeria's industrialization. When we have industrialization, there will be increased job creation, and that will further strengthen our economy. Secondly, we looked at the issue of policies. There's a need for the review of the national defense policy.
Chief of Defense Staff General Christopher Musa, who was also represented, says the Nigerian armed forces are addressing the impacts of climate change on industrialization, energy and security through anti-bunkering, counter-terrorism and disaster management.
The fact is we need to work more collaboratively with all stakeholders because the scenario is complex. And so we've got to appreciate the role every agency plays, even individuals, both domestically and internationally.
The federal government of Nigeria should harness all factors of national power as means of national defense to achieve national security.
Questions and answers bordered on how Nigeria can achieve good governance in the midst of its challenges and ways to achieve food security. In Jos, Alisa Botukai Andrew, NTA News.
Time to join Adeola in the City of Aquatic Splendor for more reports on Nationwide. Hello, Adeola.
Elizabeth. The call for community policing has been heightened due to the level of insecurity, which has remained a major concern for Lagos residents in recent times. Stakeholders are of the opinion that since conventional police hardly gets to remote areas of the state, community policing therefore becomes imperative. Lynn Leneke reports.
Security is indeed everyone's business, as concerted efforts of security agencies and residents are important in curbing any form of crime and violence. With over 15 million people living in Lagos, pockets of security challenges have continued to emerge, from agents of perpetrating crimes disguising as transport operators to a recent case of using a minor to peddle drugs. These and many others have continued to generate concerns among Lagos residents, thereby making the calls for community policing louder. To achieve a safer Lagos, these respondents believe inclusion of religious bodies, people from all ethnic and occupational groups into the security architecture is important.
The agencies must relate with the retired community. The retired community must relate with the serving personnel and commute as an interface with the civilian community.
Members of the State of Assembly are not oblivious of the cries of Lagosians. They are discussing the issue with the aim of making recommendations.
We need the state to have the police, our police system here that is conducive for us, that will make life meaningful for people. Security is local, and that's what I want to take advantage of this moment. And let us appeal to the National Assembly to take another look into this matter so that we can save our country, because life is precious.
The Nigerian police, on the other hand, is not leaving any stone unturned to ensure the communities are safe.
We are shifting from the present approach of community policing to policing diverse communities. That is, policing the communities, taking into consideration the peculiarities of each community.
The police is, however, issuing stern warning to criminals to desist from perpetrating crimes or face the wrath of the law. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
And that's it from Lagos. Elizabeth, is back to you.
Thank you so much, Adeola. Now let's go back to our studio in Kaduna, where Salamatu is still standing by. Salamatu.
Elizabeth, in a new approach to address the problem of maternal mortality and morbidity rates in Jigawa State through environmental sanitation, the Jigawa Governor Umar Namadi has inaugurated State Environmental Sanitation Committee to ensure that Jigawa mitigates diseases related to poor sanitation in the state. Muhammad Musa Askara reports.
The news that thousands of Nigerians are dying every year of avoidable diseases, particularly those related to poor environmental sanitation, such as malaria and typhoid, among others. These experts say, apart from claiming lives of the Nigerian citizens, also depletes the household's economy and that of the state as well as that of the nation. To address this problem, Governor Umar Namadi inaugurated a committee on environmental sanitation expected to come up with modalities of enforcement on the last Saturday of every month. Governor Umar Namadi read a terms of reference to the committee.
Plan and implementation of sanitation activities. 2. Ensure funding of all monthly environmental sanitation activities. 3. Establish task force committee on monthly environmental sanitation. 4. Coordinate the activities of task force and activities of local government sanitation committees. 5. Ensure full compliance. 6. Ensure law enforcement and prosecution of defaulters. 7. Reporting all activities to His Excellency. 8. Regular committee meeting and emergency meeting. 9. Receive and respond to any emergencies that may arise as a result of monthly environmental sanitation. 10. Development of checklists for the task force. And 11. The final is any other issues the committee deem it fit for the development of the state.
Dr. Nura Kazaure is the chairman of the committee. He said that the enforcement will commence at the end of September this year. The monthly sanitation exercise is expected to keep the environment clean and mitigate the diseases that breed from poor sanitation. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
Participants of Course 46 of the Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji, have been charged to remain focused by putting in their best during the training year. The call was made by a former commandant, Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji, Air Vice Marshal Ebenezer Alade, retired, during the inaugural lecture for Course 46 participants. Let's hear more from Dauda Muhammad.
Senior course participation is a critical enabler of progression in the armed forces for all officers in the ranks of majors and equivalent in the tri-services. Senior course 46, the Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji, has 258 participants consisting of 147 Army, 59 Navy, 41 Air Force, and 10 international students. Former Commandant, Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji, Air Vice Marshal Ebenezer Alade, retired in his presentation titled The Making of an Effective Command and Staff Officer for a Contemporary Operating Environment, highlighted likely challenges to be encountered by mid-level officers and challenged them to bring new ideas to take the military to greater heights.
Most of you are expected to assume the role of staff officers after this course. Hence, the training you will receive in the college within the next 11 months will no doubt contribute towards ensuring you perform your assigned duties efficiently and effectively.
Commandant, Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji, Air Vice Marshal Hassan Alaji, assured Course 46 participants that the college will be fair and objective in assessing their conduct.
The onus now rests on you to justify the confidence that your respective services and countries have reposed in you.
The participants will, during the one-year program, be exposed to study tours, group and field presentations, as well as analysis. Dauda Mohammed, NTA News.
And that is it on our package from Kaduna. Let's rejoin Elizabeth again in Abuja.
So much. Now talking health, the Nigerian Army is taking measures to stem post-traumatic stress disorders and other related health challenges associated with officers and soldiers in the front line. This the focus of the Mental Health Awareness and Resilience course organized by the Nigerian Army Resource Center, Abuja, to heighten the campaign on mental health and boost self-care among armed forces personnel.
Mental issues in the military is of a great concern to us. We don't want people with stress disorders, people with trauma, all those kind of things in the military. We want them to be in the right frame of mind to carry out the operations for national security. So we expect that they will find themselves in the operational areas, and then they'll be able to advise the commanders and treat their patients accordingly.
We are looking at resilience, how you handle stress, how you make decisions when you're under stress, and to seek help when you know that you are being overwhelmed by stress, by situations around you, to avoid poor judgment that can lead to loss of life, that can lead to morbidity as well.
For regular medical checks and healthy lifestyle as proactive measures to address mental health challenges. Earlier, we brought you a report on the deplorable state of roads in Benin, and on that we now link up with our correspondent Ogochukwuka to bring us our situation report. Ogochukwuka, thank you so much for joining us on the news.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you so much. You are actually on the road, and this road, is it the same one you mentioned, that was mentioned in the report? Let's have feelers from you on the state of this road as we speak.
All right now we are at the Ologbo axis of the Benin-Sapele-Warri Road, and it's been like this for over almost a year now. It's been for motorists and even residents of this area. It's been tales of woe and lamentations all the time. We are even lucky at this time because it has not rained for the past few days, but if you can check my clothes at the moment, it's about to rain, and the people are almost getting scared because, as you can see, if the camera can focus on the road now.
We sincerely apologize for that glitch. We take another break. More reports ahead. Just stay with the NTA. Thanks for staying with us. We now head to Makurdi, where Charles is standing by to dish out some reports. Charles?
Elizabeth, and a warm welcome to Makurdi. Our first story is on good governance, where newly sworn-in members of the Benue State Executive Council have been urged to face challenges of governance with courage and resilience in order to deliver on the mandate of the reset agenda. Governor Hyacinth Alia gave the charge at the swearing-in ceremony of commissioners and special advisors. Elias Itiav completes the report.
The newly sworn-in appointees comprise 17 commissioners and 23 special advisors. Governor Hyacinth Alia, while administering oaths of office and allegiance on the appointees, reminded them that their choice is informed by their antecedents, hence they must exhibit diligence and commitment in the discharge of their assignments. The governor therefore urged them to hit the ground running by creating a positive impact and surmounting all obstacles in delivering good governance.
The people of Benue have pledged their trust in you, placing the welfare of their communities, their aspirations, and their hopes in your hands. It is imperative that you honor this trust, for it forms the foundation upon which our great state stands.
Commissioner for Education and Knowledge Management, Dr. Frederick Ikian, who responded on behalf of the commissioners, and Dennis Akura on behalf of the special advisors, promised never to disappoint the state in their responsibilities. The special advisors are to be assigned portfolios on a later date, while the State Executive Council meeting will be held in the coming week. In Makudi, Elias, Etiaf, NTA News.
And on the environment, Benue State government says, following the prediction of the relevant authorities that 22 local government areas of the state would experience flooding this year, coupled with the alert on the modulated release of water from the Lagdo Dam in Cameroon, it has taken proactive measures to mitigate the impact on the people. I reported that some residents also spoke on their readiness to do the needful. The Cameroonian authority released water from the Lagdo Dam, and it caused flooding in Benue State, coupled with the amount of rainfall that was experienced then. This year, 2023, the Cameroonian authority has informed Nigeria that it is going to release a modulated quantity of water from the Lagdo Dam.
Actually, some of us, we got that news, and like I myself, I'm arranging to move out from this area.
If we can look at the other part of our land there, some of us, we did not farm it there. We farm it outside small. So that is the only common way we can manage to do our farm. We cannot do it large again.
And now when they say water they come again, if by grace of God, September, I feel move some of my engine while they manage now go and put it to my house.
What is to be done in order to mitigate the impending flooding?
We have identified areas that we are going to move these people to settle. We are ready, and we hope that with what the government set up to do, we are going to reduce the impact heavily. We have started building streets, constructing streets, so that drainage will be created around the state, particularly around Logotu settlement, where it's also going to be affected by the flood.
Information from the National Inland Waterways Authority, Makudi, revealed that the current water level of the River Benue is between 10.010 and 10.028 meters, and that if more water is released from the Lagdo Dam into the river, it will result in disastrous flooding. In Makudi. That report runs off our package from Makudi. Elizabeth, it is back to you.
Thank you so much, Charles. And earlier, we talked about the recent crime outlook of Kano State and successes recorded by the police in this regard. So I hear Elizabeth Yila is still standing by to give us more updates. Lizzie, thank you so much for joining us again on the news.
Elizabeth, thank you, Elizabeth. So as I was explaining earlier, the police in Kano State have come up with quite a lot of strategies that will help in combating crime. And this time around, they are going with a non-kinetic approach in combating crime. And I'm here with the Commissioner of Police, Mohammed Hussein Gumel, for us to hear from the horse's mouth. Sir, what informed your decision to come up with a non-combatant approach to combating crime in Kano State?
Thank you, Elizabeth, and good evening, Nigerians. The decision is informed out of the directive of the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Abetukum, who directed all commands and formation to start implementing the template of community policing initiatives. So discretionally, we started with this non-combatant approach or non-kinetic approach, which we believe is yielding a big dividend.
Would you say that the rate of crime in Kano State as compared to before has reduced drastically?
Of course, it is the talk of the town. Everybody in Kano State knows that the rate of criminality, such as cell phone snatching, thuggery, and other related violent crimes have been pushed to the wall during my last 100 days while in office. and that has been given a good sleep for every citizens without being apprehensive of someone coming to attack him or her.
Okay. Well, thank you very much, sir. It is obvious that the rate of crime has gone down drastically. And in Kano State, we have the popular Yandaba, which are the thugs that have been disturbing residents in the state. And as you can see on my left, these are some of them that have come. A visual sign that they are done with the life of thuggery. And I would like to ask one of them, please, what's your name?
My name is Abubakar Messi Adaka.
Okay, me yasa ka bar harkan daba?
Abin da sa barkan ba zuwan CP ne kuma dama can hukumar gwamnati ba ta kula da mutane ne kuma 'yan sanda sun zo sai su fada da mutane ba sa jawo mutane a jiki.
All right, so what he's trying to explain here is that he is done with the life of thuggery. So back to you, Elizabeth. That is the update from Kano.
Elizabeth, I want to thank you so much for your efforts. Thank you for your time, and we do appreciate the contributions of the State Police Command. Thank you very much. Now, talking politics, a frontline All Progressives Congress support group Project 2023 and beyond has lauded economic policies rolled out by President Bola Tinubu under the Renewed Hope agenda. The group commended Tinubu's presidency for some of the bold steps being taken to recover lost hours and insist it is the best way to go in order to put the economy in the right trajectory.
We are soliciting, Mr. President, and the leadership of our party, the APC, to please hearken to the wishes of the Nigerian youth by appointing Honorable Shola Olofin to lead the youth ministry as Honorable Minister of Youth Affairs.
The group says it is committed to the success of APC at the center and subnational levels beyond 2023. Now, intellectual capabilities of university students and their understanding of governance after graduation are being tested to prepare them for the realities of life. This was at the 10th edition of All Nigeria Universities Debate Championship that attracted 18 private, state and federal universities in the country. With the theme, Youth, Governance and Sustainable Development, the Future Will Stand, the students raised issues on ministers being elected into offices as opposed to being appointed by the president.
Why preferring a world where ministers are elected into office might look realistic? We are more likely going to have no turnout for those positions.
Having listened to them, my faith in the capability of Nigerian youth to find solutions, original solutions to some of the biggest issues bothering this country has been reinforced.
So we are trying to build the youth in a way to think and show the world that this is the type of future that we want as youth.
Debate is training these young people as leaders, ability to convince.
So it affords young persons the opportunity to also exercise their intellect, not just their physical muscles.
Programs have been rolled out to engage students to be more alert while they look forward to becoming future leaders. And next is Sports Update. In Sports Update with Olumide ends nationwide today. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Good evening.